taking control, yeah.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Cookies and Cream Show. This is episode 8. My name is Bib.
And I'm Patrick.
And this is our guest, Matty Reese. Say g'day.
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Nah, you're all right. Our pleasure. Sorry for the delay. Real quick, we should probably mention this is about a week late because me and Patty actually recorded one last week, and we were having some technical difficulties just before we start the show, so we tried to I tried to adjust everything, and I may have fucked up, and we recorded a whole half an hour, and it was actually a really good podcast. Like, I was so happy to put this one out. I was like, yeah, this one was funny, like everyone's gonna laugh, blah blah blah, and you couldn't hear Patrick for the whole half an hour. So it was kind of fucking shit, and we were annoyed, and I'm like, I refuse to do another one. We'll do the next one when Matty Reese is on, because we were actually meant to have you on last week, but it was just, we got caught up on the weekend and all that stuff, so we do apologize, but now you're here, so we do appreciate you being here.
Look, everyone's busy, that's alright, you get that done.
Yeah, nice. So just quickly, before we go on any further, December 12th, for our little plug at the start of the show, you would have seen on the edited version, Untamed Fantasies have a show on at Clarendon Tavern, if you're willing to get tickets.
That was my bad.
If you're willing to get tickets, go over to Nelly Leopard on Facebook and go buy a ticket off her. It's an amazing show. It's always a good time. So yeah, all right. Let's get right into. Don't fall on me, light. Let's get right into it. So, Matty Reese, how are you, mate? It's been a while since we've last spoken properly. How you been?
Yeah, absolutely. Too many days, too many months to count on fingers. But I mean, here we are. It's good to see your face again, and here we are. We're having a chat. We're good to go.
Yeah, you're lying to yourself, mate. Absolutely lying to yourself.
I mean,
you reckon it's good to chat to this bloke? Fuck me.
The last time, this is basically the whole.
They say try and be professional, but I mean, you know, whatever.
Oh no, this show's cut sick. I mean, everyone just gives shit to each other if you haven't noticed as of yet. So the last time we actually seen each other was probably maybe 3 weeks ago when Y had that little gig out at Clarendon. You come out for a bit and come and visit it. I was fucking tanked. I was not driving that night. I had a lot to drink. I was in and out of the poker room, more in than out. Shut up, Patrick. And yeah, it was a big night for me. It was anyway. There was a whole bunch of things, but we chatted a bit there, and that's when we officiated everything. Wanted you to come onto the show and stuff like that. So, with that being said, how's this career going? I see the UFC stuff and all the boxing stuff behind you. Oh, I think it's boxing, not UFC. Apologise.
If you can, you want to tell us like how it all started first?
Yeah,
How'd you get into it? And
Yeah, well, the way boxing sort of came about was, I mean, look, easy to say. When I was growing up as a kid, I was always a very shy and timid kid, and never liked confrontation and all that sort of stuff. And I guess I never had trouble in life in any of that sort of sense. But I went to the gym and with the boys from school, as you do, you sort of get to your older years as a kid, you start lifting weights with the boys, and every boy wants to be massive. That's usually how the game works. But I caught eye of the kickboxing coach down the back of this is a previous gym, not this one. I caught eye of the kickboxing coach down the back of the gym, and every time I was lifting weights with the boys, I sort of was watching, and then one day I went down and just had a chat to him and asked him a few questions, and said, could I jump in, could I do some personal training? And he said, yeah, no worries, gave me the price. So I jumped in and started doing a few sessions. That turned into a recurring session. And then, we started hitting pads, and you said, you're getting pretty good at this. Do you want to try sparring? So I said, all right, no worries, what can it hurt? So I tried some sparring, and we got stuck into the sparring, and then that turned into, you're doing all right. Do you want to try and maybe have a fight? And I thought, I've never this is a lot, but okay, sure. Yeah, all right. So I thought, what's one fight going to hurt? If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I like it, I keep going. And then, lo and behold, before I could even blink, the time rolled around, and I was walking out to the ring for my first fight, and one fight was not enough, and away I went. I never looked back.
Very good. Very good.
How'd you go in the first fight?
Yeah, so that was a fun one actually. So I won that fight.
Oh, wow.
But so so the guy I fought, his name was Sam Larkin. Okay, so I had no idea who this kid was when I got matched up with him, and neither did anyone else. But we got put on the poster. Or the only idea I had of him was when I saw his photo on the poster posted up next to mine, and we we're doing sort of that Photoshop face off. But we got to the weigh-ins, and the dude was massive. Like I was sort of second guessing myself walking out of the weigh-in room, going, "Oh shit, this guy's massive." And even we got to fight night, and a bunch of my friends came out, like probably say 20 or 30 people from the gym, a bunch of my mates from school, family, all that sort of stuff. I had about 60, 70 people there.
Fuck yeah.
And I won the fight. So like he showed strength. He showed strength pretty early, but then I was taking the punches in the gloves, and I thought, oh, this guy doesn't hit that hard at all. So I just sort of put the head down and walked onto his chest and started throwing, and then all of a sudden he's backing up, and I thought, oh fuck, this is easy. So away I went and started to sort of let the overhands fly, and then he didn't like it too much, and I sort of emptied the gas tank trying to knock him out, and we sort of laid on each other for another couple of rounds, but ended up getting the job done for that one. And even when I finished the fight, all the mates said, we saw him and we thought, oh fuck, that's dead. That was the end of that story. Won that fight and moved on to more and bigger things, and never saw him again.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
all right.
Fuck yeah. So you were previously, so you did a couple of fights and stuff like that, which leads me back to the question. From the last time I spoke to you, you said you weren't fighting, you're coaching. Is that a full-time thing? What's the plan there around there?
Yeah, so I was full-time coaching, and still do help the guys out a bit. I sort of veered off the fighting side and onto the coaching side. There was a lot of younger fighters coming through, and I'm always very wanting to offer my hand and my help and so whatnot, and found my niche with the coaching. Then started helping out some pros and got stuck into that side of things, and really got stuck into a career of coaching, but not coaching as much these days. More so because I've started training again. Actually.
Oh wow! Okay.
Been training for about the past 4 or 5 months now, and I hadn't actually said anything about it yet to anyone. But I mean, really, I guess if I'm going to say it anywhere, I may as well say it here. I'm planning to fight again next year, so there you go.
Very good, exclusive Cookers and Crew Show. I'll take that one. If there's anything, I'll take that one. Fuck yeah, you're gonna have to let us know when you're gonna fight. We'll come out. We'll
have to come out for the night.
Sure.
Really good.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
So
for sure, 100%.
So with all that, people are going to probably think I'm a dumb cunt, which they probably already do, but that's besides the point. Shut up, Patrick. Patrick's dying to say something there. I can see it. But with that, is it like because I know you got all the different weight classes and stuff like that. How strict is it to drop below a weight class and work around that? Like, as in, for example, for you, are you in a middle? Are you in heavy? Like, what are the major differences, and how do you get to each one? What are the weight limits?
Yeah, it all depends on the fighter and how they conduct themselves, and whether they want to fight at a weight that's suitable for them or a weight that's beyond suitable. Which all options are common. We've seen it time and time again where fighters try to cut ridiculous amounts of weight, and they hurt themselves for it. They don't end up healthy out of it. And it either leads to one or two things, and that's they have inside more respiratory problems in the long run, because their body just sort of gets broken and beaten by how hard they go with their weight cutting, and they also they don't protect their own bodies, and it ruins their chins. They get knocked out, they turn punch drunk, all that sort of stuff. But then there's guys who look after their bodies in that sort of sense, and that's sort of that's where I did when I fought, and when I'm going to fight again was I choose to fight at weights that suit me and suit my body, and that don't force a toll on me having to lose any copious amounts of weight. Like, yes, I've got to lose a bit of weight to get back into shape to where I want to be next year. But when it comes around to that time where I've lost that weight, it's time to fight. I won't be dropping any drastic amounts of weight. No.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're right. Cut six.
Is it common for larger fellas to try and go into weights below them, like so they feel like they got the edge? Because would you rather be at like a higher weight in that low division, if that makes sense?
Like a fucking stocky guy in
big time,
medium weight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's for example, okay, now the UFC is probably the best example I can use for this, right? We'll say Khabib Nurmagomedov. Okay, now everyone knows who Khabib is, the UFC lightweight champion, 29-0, and famous for beating Conor McGregor. The common knowledge for that one, and anyone in the fight game knows that Khabib might weigh 155 when it's time to fight, but in the gym, the guy walks around at about 195 to 200 pounds.
Shit.
Jesus.
So he cuts down quite a bit just to make his fights. And what about the vice versa? What about people like that are... I know this is a fucking bad example, but as like a cruiserweight that want to fight in a heavyweight division, like, is that something that happens? Not necessarily to that
extent.
Opposite end, but I'm saying like maybe middleweight to heavyweight. Is that something that's common as well in boxing?
Yeah, by all means, not uncommon at all. I was previously working with a guy, Jeff King's his name. He's a pro on the local circuit. Jeff's a common one for that one there. Like Jeff fought most of his career at middleweight, and now on the tail end of his career, he's fighting at heavyweight in boxing. He fought in MMA, but now he's fighting at heavyweight in boxing. And that's more so because he feels comfortable at heavyweight. It doesn't take a toll on his body, and he can protect himself as the time gets on and he gets older. Like the body takes time to repair, so the better you can look after your body, the better. And it's definitely not uncommon for people to fight at unsuggested weights. Let's put it that way.
When you say looking after your body, do each like weight divisions do they fight a different style? Do they?
Yeah, look, in MMA, absolutely. I mean, like, you've got wrestlers, you've got strikers. In strikers, you've got breakdown strikers, you've got boxers, you've got kickboxers, you've got taekwondo guys, you've got judo, you've got a mixture of everything. And everyone's fit in their own retrospect or in their own way, in their own unique way. But yeah, people either choose to lose copious amounts of weight because they believe that that's all they can do and they can do it healthy, and then people choose to stay at higher weights because they believe it's better for their body and it's less of a toll. The guys who lose a lot of weight, it takes a toll on them physically, it takes a toll on them mentally. You diet, you don't enjoy your food, you don't get to drink Coke, you don't get to drink. Well, I mean, no one drinks alcohol leading up to a fight.
Yeah,
a couple of people do, but not me. But look, as I said, like people choose to fight at weights because they believe that's what they can get their body to do. And if they choose to fight at a lower weight and cut that extreme amount of weight to be the bigger guy on fight day, then that's what they do. Some people believe that if they don't cut weight and they come in as a smaller guy, they're coming in a lot healthier and stronger, which can absolutely happen. So look, it's just all a personal preference. It's what people choose to do. Whether it's right or wrong is another thing.
Yeah, right. Interesting. And with that being said, with the fighting styles themselves, like I remember we briefly spoke about this when we were in person last. There's so many different, even in boxing, like it's not just UFC. There's so many different fighting styles. Like we were talking about, knowing how far that inch is makes such a big difference in a game. Like, you know what I mean? Like in a game-changing way, should I say? So with the different styles, is there a lot of like stay back, and then go bang, bang, bang in, or is there just constantly stay within reach, or like what is your preference, and what are the different kind of styles that people like? The common ones.
Oh, look, yeah, absolutely. I mean, every style is a unique style, and I mean, there's again, this is all a preference thing. You'll have fighters that like to stay on the outside, and then you'll have fighters who like to fight on the inside. It's inside fighting, it's outside fighting. Personally myself, I like to work on the inside because I'm not a fan of chasing people. I'm not a fan of over punching. You work smarter, not harder. I'm not a fan of blowing gas if I don't have to.
Yeah, yeah.
But like you've got guys who wait on the outside and are phenomenal counter strikers. Floyd Mayweather, Canelo, they're very good at waiting on the outside and making you miss the counter striking.
Yeah.
Then you've got guys who fight well on the inside, like Paul Gallen. There you go. There's a good one. There's a good one that everyone knows. Paul Gallen's very good at fighting on the inside. He'll put his head down. He'll walk forward and he'll punch you. He'll punch you dead.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, right. Now, have you got any more personal questions for him, Paddy?
Oh no, that's all right. I've probably got 100 questions, but it doesn't matter.
No, that's right. I'm just saying cut sick because I was gonna just slowly drift away just in regards to
That's
the
fine.
weekend's fight.
That's fine.
The weekend's fight of Roy Jones and Mike Tyson. I didn't watch it, so we were meant to do this recording yesterday, and I'm kind of glad we didn't because now we've got the whole topic of this whole scene, which goes into context of what happened over the weekend. Did you enjoy the fight? Do you watch those fights where it's like, holy shit, like in all honesty, it's two of the greats, like two of one of the greats, right? Do you watch that fight analysing and picking up on the things because they're older now? They've been retired for quite some time. Do you watch those things and go, oh,
nitpick?
Nitpick, like, oh, he could have done this, he didn't have done that. Like, you know what I mean? Do you do those things, or do you just enjoy it because it's them two iconic people?
Sorry, before you answer, I feel like all fighters would do that.
Of course, but I'm saying like from someone that's like done a bit of pro stuff locally or whatever.
In my opinion, regardless, I reckon if you're watching someone, like, unless it's fucking flawless, which nobody's fucking perfect, everyone will have a say, oh, he could have done this, he could have done this. It's easier to say things when you're watching, when you're not there.
You're not wrong there.
Sorry,
yeah, well, it's funny actually because I got into many debates about this because it was all that flooded my Facebook news feed over the past 24 hours was critiques of the Tyson versus Jones fight. Reality is the best thing that I took out of that was I didn't critique the fight one bit. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. are two of my absolute idols. I love everything about those two guys, and just to see them strap the gloves up and walk into the ring, considering I was too young to even remember when they did in their prime, to see them strap the gloves on and walk into the ring.
Sorry. I got excited. Don't let me cut you off. Get your head out of the way, boy.
Okay. To see them strap the gloves on and walk into the ring one more time was enough for me, and that's exactly what I enjoyed. I enjoyed the fact that I got to watch them walk into the ring for one more time and be acknowledged enough to be able to witness it.
Corona, shut the whole show
You
down.
can't critique that.
Oh,
You can't critique that. Yeah, I just gotta get that's right.
Good man.
They're 51 and 54 years old. Mike Tyson hasn't fought in 16 years, and Roy Jones Jr. hasn't fought in 4 years, and probably should have stopped 16 years ago. They were doing it for our enjoyment, and that's it.
Fair enough. Do you think that's why it ended in a draw?
Oh yeah, look, there were no actual officiating judges for that fight, so the scores that were submitted for that fight were just by professional colleagues only. They weren't actually judges.
Oh, okay.
And they were basically being nice. They when two blokes are walking out there for an exhibition fight to do it for charity and to put on a show for the fans. It would have been rude of them to say Mike Tyson won 8 rounds in a row because, I mean, frankly, for anyone that was knowledge enough to know what they're looking at, yes, Mike Tyson won all 8 rounds clear and decisively.
So I've heard.
But you can't say that. It's probably not a nice thing to say on TV when two blokes have done what they've done.
Yeah,
especially when it's for a good reason, when it's an exhibition fight.
Absolutely. And especially for guys like that who multi-millionaires would never have to do that in their life and just go out of their way to do that, A, for charity, B, for us. You know what I mean?
I think they've just, in general, they've done so much for the sport. You can't take something away from someone after they've been retired for so long.
Pretty much. And if anything, they're probably one of the... Go on, Manny.
I was going to say exactly that. I mean, like, you can hear it in the interview after when they interviewed both the fighters. They like, because look, in all respect to Mike Tyson, how fucking good did he look at 54 years old? He looked ridiculously fit.
Yeah.
Ridiculously. And he wasn't even tired after that. Where Roy Jones Jr. was blowing after one round flat.
Yeah.
But they said to Mike Tyson, they said, "You look really good in there. Would you ever consider getting a license and fighting again as a professional?" And he said, "Oh, hell no, not a chance in hell. I'm only doing this for charity. I'm only doing it to help the people. So, yeah, I'm going to jump in here and, yeah, I'm going to go again, but it's not going to be licensed. It's not going to be a fight."
Good on him. Good on him. There's probably people just trying to question him to money grab him already. But that's what I mean. Like, kudos to him. Like, and especially at that age. Like, even in the promo videos when you've seen him training, I was just like,
Fuck, he was
fuck,
quick.
man. Yeah, if I could do that at that age, I would be fucking super happy. Like, man, I'd be happy if I'm not in a fucking wheelchair by that age. Like, that's pretty impressive. Like, the shit he could do and the speed and the like the agility on him is unfucking real, man. That was next level.
Well, so the crazy part to that, too, is that he actually lost 100 pounds preparing for that.
Fuck. That's talent, too, at that age.
So at 54
what's the
years old,
equivalent?
to lose 100 pounds and get that fit and get that nimble and be back in that sort of shape is just like, look, if he can do that at 54, no one's got an excuse unless you've lost your legs.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking insane. Oh,
That's pretty fair.
Let's quiz him. I know what the answer is because I just fucking Googled it. What's 100 pounds in kilos?
It's roughly 50, about 60 or so.
Oh, a bit less. About 45, Google's telling me.
45. I'll go the other way around. Yeah, I knew it wasn't
Oh,
exactly
okay, I
half.
see what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah, he went up instead of down.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's right. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
45 kilos, but that's still a massive effort.
That is a big effort, dude. I fucking tried to lose 9 kilos at the gym, and I'm like, what walked past before, behind Matty before, that's my $80 Cornwell. That's, if I see that, I'm happy days. I'm happy. I got my money's worth for the day, for the month.
Oh, you can just see where Bibbs would be the whole time. He'd be on the treadmill, he'd be on the cross trainer, he'd never be in the boxing room.
Listen, that is true, but not only that, I may or may not have I probably shouldn't. I shouldn't admit this, but I may not scheduled my gym time to be on the treadmill watching the classes on purpose. I may have not. It's a good watch. I thought I probably could do that back at home. You know what I mean? That's what I go and watch if I don't watch it for anything else. Good country.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Good country. So, all right, let's drift off for a little bit longer. I think we got another maybe 10ish or just under whatever to go. So, Matty, I actually met you when I was in my prime of going out on a Friday night over at the Peachtree Hotel, which is where I officially started, let's call it hanging out with Wycliffe and stuff like that, because I knew of him before that, and that's how I actually got to that stage. So that's how I met you, I met you through the Peachtree Hotel where you used to work. I think maybe you're a manager. I don't actually know your officiated role there. But that's where we met, and I'm sure for the next 10 minutes or something we could come up with a few stories from there or something else that you know of that can give our audience a little bit of the insight as to how that whole scene works in the preparation and what the fuck you see as a worker there compared to us two going out and being blind for the whole night. So how did you start off there? What was your role there? What was your favourite shit from doing there?
Yeah, okay. So me ending up at the Peachtree Hotel was it started out as an inquiry, and then pretty much sort of just happened at the snap of a finger, I guess to say, because I've worked on golf courses since I was a kid.
Yep.
And I've always had my hand in hospitality, and the Peachy was sort of all.
Sorry to cut you off. I don't know if you know, Paddy's really good at golf. You should check out the video that's on our socials. Sorry, but you can continue. Sorry. He's terrible.
Good, Paddy.
He's terrible.
I'm pretty good at telling you.
He's fucking terrible.
Oh, you'll lose it.
Go on. Sorry to cut you off. Go on.
That's all right. Yeah, so the Peachtree sort of, it started out as an inquiry and sort of fell together pretty quickly. I was working at Penrith Football Stadium before that as a game day manager, and I was basically as a game day manager, I was walking from bar to bar throughout the whole stadium, making sure kegs were updated, checking in with bar managers, all that sort of stuff, and of course working my way up from just from one of the regular line bar staff as well. So that's where I developed my experience in hospitality, and then I was working at the Pioneer Tavern before that from memory, and was a bar supervisor, just a bar lucky there, and then sort of worked into bar supervisor and so whatnot. And then I, out of curiosity, applied at the Peachtree, and Jessie was the licensee at the time, and I went down to apply there and asked her if she had any shifts going on I think at the time I asked her if she had any shifts just going for the weekends. Yep. And then that sort of went from, well, no, I don't, but I'm looking for managers. Do you want a full-time job? I was like, oh, that came about a bit quick, but all right, yeah, cool, let's talk. So that talk ended pretty quickly, and then I resigned from the golf club I was at, and jumped straight in the deep end. There wasn't much learning. It was all right. Here's the till. Here's the office. Here's your keys, and if you've got any questions, ask away, and let's have a lash. So, yeah, I actually started on a Friday night. Believe it or not, I started straight away on a Friday night and learnt halfway.
Yeah, that would have been chaotic for your first shift. Talk about chaotic, fucking hell.
Yeah. So I mean, there was me and another girl at the time, and we jumped on board on the Friday night and got stuck straight into it. And for the period that we were there, never looked back. It was a good place to work.
So, how were you there before or after Wycliffe started playing there on Friday nights there?
No, so I was there. Look, Wycliffe had played casually there on Friday nights. So when I first started there was no R&B room. Right. That's an easy enough way to say it. That way gives you the timeline. The R&B room was actually introduced a bit after I started there, because it was casually introduced as a bit of a sideshow, to call it. We've got, let's say we use Tiger Lily for an example. When Tiger Lily headlined, there was an R&B room introduced because we knew it was going to be a busy night, and that was an extra attraction to try and diverse the crowd, so to say. Yeah. Rather than have them bunched to try and spread them out all over the venue. The only difference to that is Wycliffe is fucking good at what he does, and having him there and every fucking Friday night was just a no-brainer, and then that just sort of ended that one.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you'd appreciate the kind words. So you would have literally seen it grow from 10, maybe 20 people there to on a Friday night where you couldn't fucking move without touching someone's ass or something, unintentionally of course, and with the floor being as sticky as anything. There was some good nights there, but you would have seen it grow into that, which is pretty fucking. It's pretty cool though to know that you get to see all that.
I actually walked into it when it was already a well-developed Friday night. It was actually quite big when I had already started there. And the story behind that was a pretty cool one. I probably won't delve too much into it, but basically it started with just a couple of managers and a couple of security, and the job that they did was an outstanding job, and it developed into one of the biggest Friday nights you can imagine. And when I'd started my job there, it was already a well-developed Friday night, and it just got even bigger.
Fuck yeah. That would have been insane. We've had some good nights there. We Paddy went out maybe once or twice. Maybe
yeah, I wasn't a big fan out there, but I'm not really in that the nightlife scene, so to speak. But
correct.
I'm more of a little house cat. But
oh, you had your little period. You had your little period where you're going out on the weekends and doing some fun stuff and stuff like that. But that every now and then that didn't last very long. And
nah, it wasn't for me. It's not for everyone. Some enjoy it, some don't. It wasn't for me.
Yeah,
but that's all right.
I loved it. I was every Friday I was there. Money in my pocket, no money in my pocket. I was there. I just loved having a good time there. Just enjoying the music, seeing the dickheads, and having a good time.
Yeah, but look, that's what the crowd was there for most of the Friday nights, and that's why you got to commend the team that was down there at the time for the environment that they developed. Most people rocked up to that place on a Friday night with next to no money in their pockets, just with knowing that they were in for a good time, regardless of whether they could drink or not.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. It was a good time there, inside and out. Wherever the fuck we were, it was always a good time. I do remember some wild nights there. I one in particular I might tell before we go because we are close to wrapping up time. I do remember we were out there, and I think it was one of the very, very few times I got on the mic because the whole lacking confidence in that situation was a long time ago, and it was one of the few times I got on the mic, and there was some random chick that was there. Never seen her there before, and I never seen her there again afterwards. I went every Friday night after that, never seen her once. I'm joking, that's not what happened. But I'd never seen her before, and we were there, and I don't even know if I was drinking that night. I was just enjoying myself that time, and I was on the mic, and blah, blah, blah. And she comes up to me, and I'm like, holy fuck, what do I do? Like, because completely lack confidence in this department, right? And I'm like, oh fuck, what do I do? I'm like, okay, I just try and dance, I suppose. I'm like, try not to be so awkward. I'm like, okay, yep. And, you know, doing my thing, whatever. And she comes up to me and she's like, yeah. And then just goes, mwah, and kisses me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, do it again then. And she comes up to me, bang. I'm pretty sure it was open mouth, whatever. Not toot my own horn, nothing special. And then she goes, I'm like, oh, like, let's go. Like, and then we start dancing. I'm like, is that all you got? And then she went, nah. And then she went like that, ring on her finger, and just turned around and walked away. And I was just like, I looked at Y looked at me, just Y was in stitches. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, am I homewrecker now? Is that who I am? I'm like, did she just?
It was like he was double daring her.
Oh man, all I was worried because you'd always get fucking not psychos, but like just fucking loose cannons out there. I was like, fuck, is her fiance gonna come out and deck the fuck out of me now? Like, do I have to watch my back for the rest of the night?
I will point out he's very proud of this story because I've heard it. Fucking easily 10 times.
Oh, yeah, I've not cut. Yeah, I've not. He's full of it.
This is his claim to fame. I'm telling you.
It was one of my favorite moments when I went out because nothing like that ever happened to me when I went out on a Friday night. You know what I mean? I remember X there, and that happened.
What, the amount of things that I've seen in my time there, whether it be someone kissing the wrong guy's girl, the wrong guy's girlfriend, or the wrong girl's boyfriend, or innocent random hookups that led to fights were basically every Friday night or so common. It wasn't funny. If I could count dollars for how many times I heard the story of why did you start a fight because he touched my boyfriend, I'd be a fucking rich man. I'd be an absolutely rich man. It was practically the story of every fucking fight that started. If it wasn't that, then it ended up in a fucking I know bikey story.
Those days.
Double rich. I'd be too rich.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Three kids, no kids, and free money.
Fuck me, man. It was true, but there was always fights there, and which probably led to them, which is why they sold it.
It did get quite a bad name out there for the fights at one stage there.
It did, absolutely did. But
yeah, look, at one stage it did, and that was in its early days. But then again, like, you got to commend the team that was there at the time. They were very, very, very good at what they did, and their ability to either diffuse a situation before it got out of hand, or their ability to diffuse their situation before it got too heavy, was second to none. And you'd never find a team like we had there at the time. And they built their reputation off that alone. Most of the people that turned up to that place on a Friday night turned up with no bad or no ill intentions because they were respectful and they knew the team that were there. Again, that's just a commendment to what they did.
Absolutely.
Because I believe there was no lockout there. Was that correct?
No, there was. I think.
No. There was. Yeah. 11 o'clock. We used to have a lockout of 11 o'clock, which was another funny one that always used to crack me up because no matter how many times I could get called out the front to someone blowing their absolute stack because they know better than they know better than we do. They go, no, the lockout's 1 a.m. The lockout's 1 a.m. You go, no, that's in the city. No, that's everywhere. No, it's in the city. It's a different lockout. No, but it's 1 a.m. by New South Wales. If I heard technical talk was the absolute highlight of my night. By New South Wales government law, I know that the lockout is 1 a.m. And that's like New South Wales government law by Premier Mike Baird. I go, okay, yeah, no worries. But it's still 11 o'clock. I'm not letting you. Okay, I know the law.
Yeah. Well, you know how to sit in the car park too. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's right. If it wasn't that, it was someone told me, they go, I'm a cop, I know what the law is. And they go, great, if you're a cop, then you should fuck off.
Pretty much. You don't know what you're in for then. It was always funny. It was always funny seeing you on serious mode, because it was like, Matty would come down, you boys need any drinks, you're alright, no, all good. So you come down, you fucking my DJ on the deck or whatever, and then the fight would break out and be like, and he'd run to this side, and I'm like, Matty, you're right. He's like, no, I'll be back. And he was like, he was in serious mode. He couldn't talk to you.
Serious mode, yeah.
He could not talk to
I will
you.
stop this motherfucking fight.
I'll
Bash an 18-year-old.
Like a jackrabbit, I'd be dropping some drinks down, and then all of a sudden I'd drop him and run.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was serious. You couldn't talk to him. Oh, I'll be back. Just wait, I'll be back. That was him. But all good and well. We are close to wrap up time. I'd love to sit here and talk about more stories about the Peachtree and the good old days, should I say? But we are close to wrap up time, so we do want to thank you, Matt, for coming on the show, talking some shit, talking about.
Look, I got one funny story for you from the dance floor.
Go on.
One funny story from the dance floor. Okay, so there was this one time, right? I got called to the main room dance floor, and this was. Remember when we were going through the phase, right, of where the main room got shut down first because the R&B room was always pumping. Remember that phase?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I do.
There was this one night I got called to the main dance floor. This kid had slipped on a wet patch, and he'd gone arse over head and he couldn't get up. I get out there and he's ever so calm, and I went, "What's wrong, mate?" And he goes, "Oh, I think it's my knee." And I pulled up his pant leg, and his knee is. Oh, I'm not even kidding when I say this. It's on the other side of his leg. Like, it's basically kneecap on the back. Like it looked like he looked like a bird. Like that's how his leg was placed. But he was ever so calm about it. So anyway, we said, all right, well, do you mind if can we pick you up and take you into the back room and get you somewhere quiet? He goes, yeah. So we've picked him up and we've shoulder carried him in. We put him in the back room. We called an ambulance. And this was the nicest kid on the planet. He goes, "Oh no, I was supposed to play soccer tomorrow, so I haven't been drinking." And I said, "Well, you're not playing soccer now. That's not happening." And he goes, "Yeah, I know. Oh, well, that's all right." And the ambulance drivers turned up, and again, like you could picture like Ron and Todd Flanders. This is how nice this kid was. And the ambulance drivers rocked up, and they said, "We're going to have to try and either readjust this knee or put it in some sort of brace, but it's going to really hurt. So we're going to give you a green." And he goes, "Yeah, no worries." And he's taken the green whistle, and he's had a suck on it, and he's gone from the nicest kid in the world to the biggest fucking player in the world. All of a sudden, he's gone from pleasures and thank yous to trying to pick up the fucking female ambulance driver. I'm not kidding. The attempt that this kid went to, the lengths that this kid went to try and get this fucking female ambulance driver's number, we were absolutely crying. Like, I walked out of that, my gut was hurting that bad because he was dropping lines like he started stroking her hair at one point. He stroked her hair, going, "Oh, geez, you're fucking beautiful." And you just don't want to worry about the knee and just go back to my place. And she's going, "Oh, sorry, I'm no." He said, "That doesn't stop me before." And he's still rubbing her hair, and we're going, "Oh, fuck, let me go, this guy." And he starts rubbing her arm, and he starts rubbing her leg, and she's wetting herself and trying to sort of slowly inch away, and he's trying to like hobble out of the fucking stretcher and get closer and closer. He wasn't let down. But it was just funny how he went from an absolute angel to an absolute devil in the space of a green whistle.
Somebody get me a green whistle. That's probably what I need on a Friday night. God damn it, boost my confidence up. Fucking hell. That's awesome.
And that story won me $100 fuel voucher on Fitzy Whipper.
Oh, very good. You're kidding.
Yeah.
You're kidding. Well, you're not getting a $100 fuel voucher on the Cook and Cream show.
I actually think I might have heard this before.
Swear.
Possibly.
Well, when
Yeah,
you're back
good
in
chance.
Sydney.
No, I might have actually. I'm sort of because I used to listen to Fitzy Whipper a bit, but I might have seen it on Facebook on like when they just have the recording of them in the office.
Yeah, in the studio.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm curious. I'm gonna try to find it after this anyway.
He'll be up all night now.
Yeah, I will be.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right.
We've had
Anyway,
a good
Matty,
show.
thanks for coming on, man. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
It was good hearing a bit about your
Thanks for
life.
having me on, boys. That was good fun.
It was indeed. All right, we'll see you on the next one, and thank you very much. Take it easy.
Cheers, guys.
We could be taking control. Yeah.